Hello all, I Nirmala Rawat welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for the wonderful response on videos nowadays. A quick recap. Mata has arrived in Lanka and Ravan had tried to fool Mata with illusions. Battle of the Minds began. Moving ahead, part 3, chapter 13. Deeper and deeper, Mata sank into the dark until she was engulfed by swirling black space. Gradually, shapes took form, and she saw before her a desolate landscape, completely barren, with no signs of life. Trees burnt to ashes, dried up rivers, volcanic lava bleeding from blackened mountains with its red glow providing the only light. The sun, moon, and stars had disappeared behind a thick veil that was suffocating any life. Wandering through the landscape, which went on and on, she could find no way out. Finally, Mata asked in anguish, "What place is this that reeks of death?" She could barely see a few feet ahead of her when suddenly she stumbled upon a pile of corpses, half decomposed, faces and limbs partially eaten. Gasping, she drew back. She heard them call out to her and drew closer. "What has happened to you?" she cried. "Who has done this?" The corpses rose and began to speak all at once. Mata watched as the corpses turned into women who had been abused and disfigured. The realization came to Mata that these were the women who had been tormented by Ravan. Some he had killed, others died by their own hand after he abused them. "Help us, Mata," they called out. Her horror turned to compassion, and she touched them one by one, pressing her hands across their half-decayed faces. "Let me take this suffering from you, daughter," she whispered as she went from one to another. Standing among the abused women, her voice rang out, "Ravan, see what you have done. One who abuses a woman will reap the result. I guarantee this." The figure of Ravan appeared and began to laugh, a deep, loud laugh that pierced Mata's ears. "You have found my trophies, Sita. They were created for my pleasure." Mata let go of the woman she was holding and saw them all turn to dust. Ravan too disappeared amid a cloud of laughter. Was it an illusion or was it real? She couldn't tell. Mata fell back onto the ground, weak and disoriented. Then, with great difficulty, she lifted herself and began to walk. There must be a way out of this desolate place, she thought. Suddenly, a beautiful forest appeared. Her heart leapt up. She was free. As she entered the forest, she saw her beloved Ram resting by a sparkling lake. A cry of joy escaped her lips, and she began to run to him. Then she saw a beautiful, unknown young woman lying beside him, and he was playfully stroking her hair. He was telling the woman that Sita was dead, and she would now be the Maharani of Ayodhya. Mata's cry of joy turned to a cry of pain. That scene disappeared, and before her she saw the palace in Ayodhya. Sri Ram was seated on the throne with the beautiful woman beside him. People were coming and touching their feet. "No, no," Mata cried. "I am not dead, Ram. I am alive. I am alive." But he didn't hear. Falling to her knees, her chest heaved in pain. Tears rushed forth, and before her eyes she saw the form of Sri Ram turn into Ravan. Again his torturous laughter rent the air. Mata put her hands over her ears and turned her eyes away. But wherever she turned, there was a Ravan's form. Each form had beside him a beautiful woman. Suddenly, Ravan grabbed the women and began to abuse them. They tried to escape, But he held them down, ripped their clothes, violated them, and left them wallowing in pain. One by one, he pursued and abused them. Sharp pains racked her body as if she were in the bodies of this woman, as if this were being done to her. Her heart was shattering, and she felt that was certainly near. That scene disappeared, and again she found herself alone in darkness. This is an illusion, she told herself. It is not real. He has trapped me in an illusionary world. I must not succumb to these false images. She ran to all sides of the dark space, seeking to escape, but she was enclosed by walls of glass. Wherever she looked, Ravan's face glared out at her, mocking, taunting. What power is this? She murmured. She turned in every direction but could not find a way out. Exhausted, she fell to the ground. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you. Hereafter, the chapters are quite disturbing as we learn about the tortures that Mata Sita had went through. Keep watching. Do not forget to subscribe if not yet subscribed. Remember to like, comment and share. Jai Shri Ram.